You ever notice how, like, every mythology out there, they've all got their own version of a war god? It's kind of wild when you think about it. Like,
Yeah,
these figures are everywhere, but the stories they tell, they really give you a glimpse into what different cultures, what they thought was important, in a fight.
totally.
And that's what makes this deep dive we're doing so interesting. We're cracking open this book, Warriors or Lost Souls, the untold battle between Ares and Thor. And let me tell you, that title, it's not messing around.
Not at all.
No time for origin stories here. We're diving straight into the deep end. You already know who these guys are. Ares, Thor, the heavy hitters. This is about what happens when those two worlds, they smash together. And what it tells us about, I don't know, the real cost of war, maybe?
Absolutely. And this book, it just throws you right into the thick of it. We're talking battlefield and Phrygia, no warm-up. And here's the thing. Even before Thor shows up, there's this weird tension around Ares. It's almost like he's fighting something inside himself, even before the first punch is thrown.
Oh, hold on. So it's like he's already lost before the fight even starts. That's heavy.
Exactly. This isn't just setting up a throwdown. This is deeper. This encounter, it's framed as this clash of, like, cultural ideals
Oh,
about war itself.
okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
Right. It makes you
I
think,
like it.
what even makes a warrior? What are they really fighting for? These big existential questions.
So hold on. This is more than just like a godly brawl. We're talking about what? The philosophies of war as seen through these two, what, icons? Man, this is why I love a good deep dive.
You got it. I mean, picture it. You've got a Greek god.
Yeah.
Right. Soaked in these stories of glory, individual triumph.
Right, right.
How do they see war compared to, say, a Norse god who's all about protection, duty, a more, I don't know, a community vibe?
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. It's like their whole worlds are about to collide.
Head-on collision.
And we see that right away in how they approach this fight, right? Ares, he's all about proving himself, almost like he needs this fight to, like, validate who he is. But Thor,
Different story.
totally different vibe.
Yeah, Thor, he's got this weight of responsibility on him. It's not about personal glory. It's about something bigger, safeguarding, the bigger picture. And that difference, it's not just talk. It's like woven into them, even into how they fight.
Huh? Never thought about it like that. So you're saying even the way they fight, it reflects what's going on inside. Tell me more.
Absolutely. The book, it paints this vivid picture. Ares, he's all raw, chaotic energy, this force of nature, pure fury. But Thor,
Yeah.
he's controlled, methodical almost.
Yeah.
Every blow, it's deliberate, measured, like he's holding back the power of a thunderstorm.
It's like you can see their inner world just in the way they fight. And speaking of inner worlds, this book, it doesn't just describe the fight like blow by blow. It gets into their heads, especially Ares.
Oh, absolutely. This is where it gets really interesting. It's almost like, I don't know, Shakespeare or something.
Okay, go on.
Like the way it digs into Ares' issues. His whole thing about needing glory, it's not just bloodlust. It's more like he's trying to fill this hole inside himself.
So he's not just some, one-dimensional bad guy. He's actually kind of relatable.
Right.
I mean, haven't we all felt that? Like needing something more, trying to find meaning, even if it's not, on a battlefield.
Exactly. That's what makes this story so powerful. There's this one line Ares says, "You fight like a man who believes in something. But what is there to believe in when war is all that remains?"
It's heavy, right?
That line gives me chills. You can feel the weight behind it. Like he's not just this god of destruction. He's doubting.
Yeah.
He's wondering if his whole existence is just dot empty. It makes you think, maybe Thor is onto something. Is there a way to, I don't know, to find purpose in war without losing yourself? That's the million-dollar question right there. That's what this whole fight is making us confront. And Thor, he's the other side of that coin. Because Thor's strength, it's not just brute force. It comes from this deep sense of duty, this commitment to something bigger than himself. And that comes out in everything he does, even when he's fighting. Like there's a responsibility to it.
So it's not about glory for him. He's fighting for everyone else, basically.
Yeah,
Carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. No wonder he always seems so serious.
totally. I remember how they described his fighting style, controlled, measured.
That's
That weight, He's not just swinging a hammer, he's holding back the whole freaking cosmos. There's even this line, Thor says, "You know nothing of its weight. You fight to feed your emptiness, but war without purpose is hollow."
Oof. That's deep. You can practically hear Thor's voice, like booming in your ears. And you know what? He's got a point. Maybe true strength, it's not about how hard you hit. It's about what you're fighting, FOR, what you believe in. And just when you think, okay, this is it, Clash of the Titans, somebody's going down, the story takes this unexpected turn.
Right.
And it's not some big flashy move, no magic wands or divine intervention. It's way more subtle. Ares, he makes a choice right in the middle of this epic showdown.
Yeah, and that's where you see this isn't just a fight scene. This is different. It's not about who wins, who loses. It's about Ares being forced to confront that emptiness inside him. The whole chasing glory thing, it's like the book is saying, is this really all there is?
Okay, so what happens? Does Ares have some epiphany? Throws down his sword, becomes a pacifist.
Not exactly. We're not talking total transformation here. Ares is still, well, Ares. But there's this shift, like something clicks. You can almost see it in how the book describes him. Like Thor's words, they got through, planted a seed.
That actually makes more sense. It's not always this overnight thing, right? It's more like gradual. You start to see things differently.
100%. And that's what makes Air so interesting here, because it's real.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have W.E. questioned things? Wondered if we were on the right path. It's human,
Totally. It's like even these gods, these mythic figures, they have the same struggles we do. Makes you think.
Right. That's why these stories, they last. They show us something about ourselves. Like no matter how big the challenge, we always have a choice.
So if we're boiling this whole showdown down, what's the takeaway? What's the message, you think?
Don't just fight, fight for something. Know what's driving you, what you believe in, and ask yourself, are these my reasons?
So much more than just throwing punches.
Exactly. It's finding that purpose, that thing that's bigger than the fight itself.
Man, we started with gods duking it out, and now we're talking about what? The meaning of life? Only in a good deep dive, am I right?
Only the best kind.
This was wild. Got me thinking about my own battles, what I stand for. And hey, that's something for you listening too. What will you fight for? What are your values? The answers, they just might surprise you. Maybe there's a warrior inside us all just waiting to be discovered.